Okay, good morning and welcome to Mishna Yomi. Today we are close to wrapping up Masechah Sheviis. We'll be doing Perek Yud, Mishnayos Hey and Vav. Talk more about a pruzbul. Um, Pruzbul, right, is heter basically that your loan shouldn't be canceled. You have to collect your loan even after Shemitah is over. Hey, pruzbul hamukdam kosher. Let's say you write a pruzbul, but you really write it now. Let's say the middle of the year, Shemitah. But you write the date, like Rosh Chodesh, Rosh Hashanah of the 7th year, right, the beginning of Shemitah. So Muktam is kosher because you just hurt yourself, because it only cancels the loan you had during the first 6 years. The loan you have, right, from in the 7th year between Rosh Hashanah and Pesach, let's say when you write it, so therefore you can't collect. So you're ruining your koach, right? You're not getting an advantage, so therefore it's kosher technically. Mocher puzzle, but if you do the opposite, right, it goes when you write the pruzbul. So you write the pruzbul in the middle of Sheviis, and you write it should be active towards the end of Sheviis. So really, technically, it should only be active to the loans, from the 6 years and half of the 7th year. But you're making it effective. You're writing the date at the end of the 8th year, so you're gaining an advantage. You can't do that. Shtaricho, when it comes to regular loans, right, and shtaros, you write a letter of debt that someone owes you money, so it's the opposite. Hamukdamim psulim, right? If you're an earlier date, right, you lend money to somebody, and you wrote that he lent you that instead of at Pesach, he lent you in Pesach. He said he lent you the money the previous Rosh Hashanah. Let's say you lent him the money previous Rosh Hashanah. So you say you lent him the money previous Rosh Hashanah. So therefore, technically, the loan was given. The loan was given on Pesach, right? So when you give a loan to somebody, so therefore you have a lien on his properties. Meaning, if he can't pay the loan, he defaults on the loan. You can collect his properties. Technically, you're only allowed to collect from the date of the loan. If you write an earlier date, last Rosh Hashanah, so therefore any loan he made in the interim between when the loan really happened and the date, right? Let's say Cheshvan, so you would have a lien on that property, that property that he sold during that time, and the loan wasn't written yet, so you're getting an unfair advantage. But if you want to lose koach, you write it 6 months after it really happened, so therefore you can't collect. You don't have a lien on his property that he sold 6 months after the loan, even though technically you should have that right. If one person, he needs to borrow money from a lot of people, right? So he writes a pruzbul to everybody because the lenders, they want to be able to collect. It's 5 different loans. But if 5 people come and they want to take a loan from you, you only want one pruzbul to all of them because technically you are the one that is collecting the loan. The pruzbul is effective, right? It sounds, I would say, like it's a joint loan, like 5 people, 5 partners are coming, they want a loan together. I don't know if it's 5 separate loaners, people want to loan money. Maybe you'd have to write a pruzbul for everyone. Here it sounds like it's one loan, so therefore you don't write a pruzbul. Vav, ein kosin pruzbul el karka. One of the rules of making a pruzbul, it's a takana that they made, right? And it's not really minat Torah. Minat Torah, you can't collect a loan. You have to desist from collecting a loan after the completion of Sheviis year. Therefore, one of the stipulations they made, the pruzbul has to be on, dependent on karka. It has to be sort of a lien on karka, right? The person who you're lending the money to, that now you're going to demand the money to, has to have real estate. In Einlo, Mizaku Sadeo culture, he doesn't technically have any land. So all you have to do is just credit him. You credit the borrower with some land, and then the pruzbul is effective. If the lender doesn't have presently any land, but it has a collateral to somebody else, that's good enough, right? Because it's omer koson ish al ishto, right? If a man wants to borrow money, so therefore, even though he doesn't have any land, but his wife has land, that would be nichsei meluk, doesn't go into his rosh because he payroll. That's good enough. The yisomim nichsei apotropin, yisomim, right? Orphans that are under the age of bar mitzvah, Beis Din gives a trustee to watch over their estate. So therefore, even though it's not really in their name, it's the name of the trustee. If the trustee has land, so therefore he can borrow money for the children. as long as he has land, even though it's really the land of the children, but it's under his jurisdiction, that would be good enough to write the loan and write the prosbol. Hope you enjoyed today's share. Stay tuned for you and Mishna. Discuss more about your favorite topic, prosbol.